If there is one genre that I absolutely love, it has to be RPGs. WRPGs, JRPGs, SRPGs, even some CRPGs. I just love a good story with some fun mechanics. So what happens when you take the former developers at Squaresoft and give them the Super Mario license? You get Alpha Dream's Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga that was originally released for the Game Boy Advance in 2003. Superstar Saga was a game that always fascinated me as a child when it came out in the early 2000s, and would elude my grasp well until 2012 or 2013. Don't exactly remember which year it was that I got it. I had always seen the commercials on television advertising Superstar Saga, and since this was well before I had a GameCube, N64, or SNES, Superstar Saga wouldn't seem like the perfect entry for an RPG series for me when it comes to Mario RPGs. The problem was, it was always sold out at stores when I would try to get it, and thus I would go back to the likes of Pokemon Ruby for my handheld RPG needs. Time would pass, and many times I'd forget that Superstar Saga existed, only to be reminded after seeing a commercial every now and then for one of the newer Mario & Luigi games. It wasn't until 2009 that I experienced my first Mario RPG, and my first Mario & Luigi game wrapped in one package, and that was Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I fell in love with the game and decided to track down and play the rest of the series that had been released at the time. Surely enough, by 2012 and 2013, I had acquired Partners in Time and Superstar Saga, as well as the soon-to-be-released Dream Team. Flash forward to 2017, and a remake of the game that started it all was announced. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions for the Nintendo 3DS. Unlike its predecessors, this version of the game was going to not use sprites, but instead would be using 3D models based off the engine used in Mario & Luigi Dream Team and what was also used in Mario & Luigi Paper Jam. The 3D feature was cut out to make for a stable frame rate of 60 frames per second to be played on both regular 3DSs and the new line of 3DSs to boot. Naturally, I grabbed this game at launch, but I didn't play it initially, as during the time I was focused into my YouTube channel and was starting to feel RPG burnout from the likes of Pokemon Hard Gold. I would not fully play through Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions until the LP on this channel, which actually just recently ended. I had played through parts of the game, but I never fully played through it since I had fully played through Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga years prior. So, as someone who did not grow up with Mario & Luigi as much as others, what's my take on Superstar Saga and its remake? Is it a terrible remake, or does it satisfy what Mario & Luigi RPG fans have been waiting for a while? Let's get into it first by running through a quick synopsis of the story of Superstar Saga and, coincidentally, Bowser's Minions.
Let's go!
Okie dokie.
The story for Superstar Saga begins with a visit from the Bean Bean Kingdom's goodwill ambassador to the Mushroom Kingdom. After things go horribly wrong thanks to the game's main villain, Cackletta, and her assistant, Fawful, Princess Peach is left without a voice, prompting the Toads to go and grab Mario to come to the princess's aid. After traveling to the castle, Mario and his brother Luigi, who literally got dragged along for the ride, confront Bowser, who had come rushing to Princess Peach's castle to see what could be done about the princess. After trouncing Bowser, Mario, Luigi, and Bowser decide to put aside their differences and travel to the neighboring kingdom of Bean Bean to track down Cackletta and get Peach her voice back. Like most plans, this one goes horribly wrong for the trio, as Mario, Luigi, and Bowser are all shot down by Cackletta and Fawful, resulting in Mario and Luigi having to fend for themselves in the Bean Bean Kingdom, while Bowser becomes amnesiac. From this point, after arriving near Bean Bean Castletown, the second part of the remake's name, Bowser's Minions, begins to play out. Seeking to get their captured and amnesiac leader back from Fawful, a lone Goomba recruits multiple minions and characters in his quest to get his master back. As for Mario and Luigi, after arriving in Bean Bean Castle and saving Queen Bean from Cackletta's control, it becomes aware to the heroes what exactly Cackletta and Fawful are after, to awaken the legendary Beanstar with Princess Peach's voice to make their dream of conquering the world a reality. So, it's up to Mario and Luigi to stop this troublesome duo from achieving their goals, save Princess Peach, and save not only the Mushroom Kingdom, but the Bean Bean Kingdom as well from utter destruction. That's just a super quick synopsis of the plot, with many of the twists, turns, and characters introduced throughout the story being kept a little bit hidden so then we don't spoil it for those who haven't played the game before. Nothing new was added in plot-wise for the remake of Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, except for the addition of the Bowser's Minions plotline side game in the pause screen. You can easily ignore the Bowser's Minion content if you just want to focus on the main plot of Superstar Saga, which is what I ended up doing for the LP. Overall, I was highly invested in Superstar Saga's story, setting, and especially the characters. With being in a new location, the Bean Bean Kingdom is fleshed out more so than the Mushroom Kingdom has ever been. And this is nice considering that you are spending your entire time pretty much inside the Bean Bean Kingdom, rather than inside the Mushroom Kingdom like in past Mario games. I feel that Mario games do best when Mario is not confined to just one kingdom. See Super Mario Odyssey or the Paper Mario series up to a certain point. Cackaletta and Fawful make for a great set of villains that are very expressive and emotional, while the side antagonists of Popple the Shadow Thief and his rookie partner are great obstacles when the bros aren't dealing with the likes of Cackaletta, which, believe it or not, happens a lot in this game. Despite being the main villains, Cackaletta and Fawful are barely present in the story, but when they are, it's a treat to be sure, and their dialogue as well as their story significance cannot be underestimated. The threat they pose is always within the background of the story, and most plot events are connected in some way to those too. It really is telling when a villain isn't present throughout most of the story, but their threat can be still felt throughout it. Characters met in the Bean Bean Kingdom as well have very distinct personalities for the most part, and have very unique designs, well, given in the original, although the same cannot be stated for the designs within the remake. In the original, characters had unique sprites and animations as well as designs, and while most transferred over rather well, the Mushroom Kingdom natives unfortunately look generic and aren't stylized at all when compared to that of the original Superstar Saga. When compared to that of Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, it's going to become more apparent why people are upset about this. Overall, the story, even after all these years from the original, is engaging and will keep the player interested as they discover more in Bean Bean and help its citizens out when they can, proving just the kind of superstars that the Mario Bros are. But for an RPG story, it's just one aspect of the package. So let's get into the real meat of Superstar Saga and highlight what the remake does and doesn't really get right in the gameplay department from both the original and the remake.
Let's go!
Okie dokie.
For many handheld RPGs, turn-based was often the way to go for gameplay, and Superstar Saga is no exception to that rule. Made by former Squaresoft employees, the people of Alpha Dream created a simple and easy RPG for newcomers and veterans to enjoy. As per simple RPG mechanics, we have equipments that can boost stats, secondary equipment that can give special abilities or attributes, and a leveling system with a fun twist on the bonus stat allocation. Min-maxing is not the name of Mario and Luigi games. This is especially true for Superstar Saga. The Mario and Luigi series is a series that, much like Paper Mario at that point, does not really require the player to grind, as you can generally get by with just attacking most enemies, and by the end of the game will most likely be around the level needed to take out the final boss. Part of this is due to the ability for Mario and Luigi to dodge attacks based on the player's button presses when enemies attack, resulting in either no damage being taken by the bro in question, or even in some cases dealing extra damage to the enemies themselves. This would be the basis for all Mario and Luigi games going forward, and will be basically the same in later entries in the series, with some slight quality of life updates put in each subsequent title. As for the remake, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions keeps pretty much all of the same aspects of the original game, but does add in a hint tutorial mode on the lower screen for players to check out if they get stuck or don't know how to beat certain bosses. Bros also have multiple methods of attacking, ranging from jumping, hammer swings, and the hardly ever useful electric or fire hand attacks. Each method of attacking can be used against an enemy, and depending on the enemy, can sometimes do critical hits or change how that enemy behaves. But the regular moves aren't the only way of attacking, as by using a little bit of the bro points, Mario and Luigi can combine their attacks into a devastating bro attack. Bro attack are basically special moves within the game that are not only useful in battle, but also have applications outside of battle by hitting the L or R buttons on the 3DS or Game Boy Advance, or by touching the bottom screen of the 3DS for a quick selection. Bros attacks also can get more powerful after using them a certain number of times, and for slightly more bro points, a different style of attack can be done. In the original game, the player themselves can find these advanced techniques through experimentation with the A and B button, as A controls Mario and B controls Luigi. But in the remake, the super versions of the moves are separate entirely and will be separated in the Bros attack menu. Personally, I like this change, as while the original was fine, remembering all the different combinations and advanced button prompts was always difficult for me, even to now. The Bros attacks also have an option to have an easier button prompt for them brought up, which is something that I can see being helpful for new players, but can be ignored by veterans of the series. Minigames are also present within Mario and Luigi's journey through the Bean Kingdom, and they are definitely the weakest aspect of the game for me. Most minigames are timed and want the player to reach a certain goal within a time limit, and can be replayed to get special beans to make stat-boosting coffee blends in the Star Bean Cafe, run by Professor Egad and his assistant. But personally, I never found myself going back to the minigames to get the special Teehee beans, since I managed to acquire many of the beans necessary to make all the coffee blends through boxes and the added amiibo prizes through scanning amiibos in the game by the end of the game. Since the requirements to make these blends have been lowered significantly in the remake, the need to really play the minigames again is not needed unless the player really wants to max out certain stats. Amiibo support is very limited in this game, with only 10 amiibos being supported, which can give different prizes such as gears, badges, or beans to the player, depending on which game they're playing. They can be scanned only once, which is a shame, but I guess scanning them more than once would result in even less incentive to play the minigames, so it makes sense. Amiibo are utilized more within the Minions Quest storyline, where multiple different prizes are given to the player by completing the stamp books used first by completing the amiibos. So, while that's more helpful for the Minions Quest, for the Mario Bros themselves, it just gets you a bunch of beans for coffee. For a starter RPG, Superstar Saga nails the gameplay department well, and the remake basically takes that and, besides some balancing tweaks, leaves it intact for an enjoyable playtime. It's not the most in-depth RPG ever, but it isn't trying to be, and for that, I believe Superstar Saga excels well. But what about the Minions questline? Well, let me answer that question with another question. Do you like Mook Rushes? Basically, the gameplay of Minions Quest is you build a squad to deal with battles to beat the captain of the opposing side through different ways. Your team composition varies depending on the different members in your party that you decide to choose, and they will level up as well. Simply put, though, I do not like Minions Quest because it's too easy to get lost in the chaos of the battle, and moreover, the battles themselves tend to not be that fun or engaging for me. There's a reason why my Let's Play didn't cover the Minions Quest while I was doing the main Superstar Saga game. So Superstar Saga is great in the gameplay department, while Minions Quest leaves a lot to be desired for me. But even while Minions Quest bores me, I will say that the music is something that definitely did not bore me. And Superstar Saga and Minions Quest nail this aspect well.
Let's go!
Okie dokie.
The Mario games have always had a stellar soundtrack thanks to the composer Koji Kondo, but the Mario & Luigi series have an amazing soundtrack as well thanks to the Mario & Luigi series composer Yoko Shimomura. Yoko Shimomura is a person I feel like I don't need to go into too much detail given how popular of a composer she is. But for the two that don't know, Yoko Shimomura is famous for composing tracks for many different game series from a wide variety of different companies such as Capcom, Squaresoft, Square Enix, Nintendo, and many more. In the past 2 decades, she's provided soundtracks not only to the Mario & Luigi series, but also to the series such as Kingdom Hearts, Street Fighter II, Parasite Eve, Xenoblade Chronicles, and many more RPGs and series to boot. Simply put, though, Yoko Shimomura is very much one of my favorite video game composers. And what I like about the Mario & Luigi series is that with Superstar Saga and its remake, many of the tracks transitioned from MIDI chiptune to full instrumentals rather well. And later on in the Mario & Luigi series, I feel that the original style of Kingdom Hearts 1's music transferred over into the Mario & Luigi series. making for two games made by the same composer, sounding very different but still somewhat similar. Sound design in general for the Mario Luigi series has always been simplistic. There isn't any voice acting, obviously, but the effects and the sounds used inside the games are used for great comedic effect, and the timing is perfect. And with Superstar Saga DX, they sound crisper and cleaner than ever. If I had to pick a favorite track from Superstar Saga and Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, it would have to be Poplin Rookie's theme that plays during the battles against them. Part of that is due to the fact that Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga's soundtrack is very memorable, to say the least, and the ability to get the soundtrack through sound test blocks inside the game is a nice addition, especially for the fact that you can also get the original Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga for the Game Boy Advance soundtrack inside the game as well. And overall, creates a great experience that really immerses you in the game and has you have a greater experience without a doubt. Yoko Shimomura definitely went over the top for the soundtrack, and it can be told that it paid off well.
Let's go!
Okie dokie.
So in conclusion, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga and Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions are great games to play. From both a story and gameplay perspective, they are very well put together for a first entry in a series, and the sound design of the game elevates it to a game that I feel that many people should at least try and play. While it's not my favorite of the series, at this point it actually ranks third in the series for me, I will say that as a starting off point, Alpha Dream really nailed it. It's really a shame that Alpha Dream have sadly gone defunct at this point, and that the chances of seeing a Partners in Time remake like that of Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story are possibly forever dashed. Alpha Dream managed to create a long-lasting and fun series using well-known characters, and they just had fun with it. You could tell that a lot of love and care were put in both products, and hopefully one day a port of Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions or the original Superstar Saga can be put for Switch. As for the original game, besides tracking down an original cartridge, the game is also available on the Wii U eShop and is relatively cheap, so I would recommend grabbing whichever version of Superstar Saga you would want to grab. Although I think it might be easier to grab Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions given how much and how cheap 3DS games are becoming now. So grab yourself your striped socks and brush that stash for a really good RPG that I think many of you would enjoy. So anyway guys, I'm gonna end it off right here. This has been Neronium, and I thank you all for watching my review of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga and its remake, Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. See you all next time.